All right, so let's talk about Gen V, right? If you don't mind, Ricardo, I just want you to do synopsis for this, right?
Sure.
This is the official spin-off of The Boys,
Right.
which stopped at its third season or third or fourth season. I think it's third, right? If I'm not mistaken, right?
Season
Hold
3.
on,
Yeah.
it's
Season
yeah,
3.
season three, right? And I'll just get this out of the way. No, I did not watch the trailer for this. I wanted to go into this
Right.
as blind as possible. What I will say, just get it out of the way, right? What like this is like what the boys is what Gen V is to the boys is like what New Mutants is to X-Men, right?
Right.
Where it's like it's just
Yeah.
taking the characters and just the themes of what was already set up now, but we're just showing it from a younger perspective, from a Gen Z perspective, right?
Right.
And yeah, well, Gen Z, right? No mind, the show is called Gen V, right? And yeah, I think that it is a really like great perspective, right? Just on the world of the boys, in particular the the whole V chemical that a lot of kids were tested with, right? And that's where they became soups and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, on paper, yeah, I mean, concept wise, this makes a lot of sense. And what I also really appreciate about this show here, don't mind it's just the first three episodes, is that it is independent of the boys, but you could also imagine this happening during the whole
Right.
shenanigans of what happens in at least each season of the
Right.
boys, right? Like it feels like while
Well,
the
yeah.
boys doing its own thing, at the same time Gen
Yeah.
V is doing that thing, as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I love that, right?
Yeah. So and right after the events of season 3, so
Yes.
because they reference all the end of season 3 effectively, like what happened to Queen Maeve and all of that stuff.
Exactly, yeah, yeah.
Uh,
But yeah, well,
right.
Ricardo, take it away.
Sure.
Gen V, first three episodes, whatever.
Right. So it follows Marie. It took me a hot minute to realize that was Jazz Sinclair.
Yes, boy.
Like
Yeah, it's only
yeah.
when I saw the
It's only
anchor. I was like,
because
what? You okay?
it's only because it's that other fella from Sabrina.
All right,
Was
right,
it?
right.
It's like
Chance
oh
Perdomo, cause watching the face, like
yeah
I know you too. Right,
yeah
you.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember you.
No, I pick up it was him immediately, but I was like, wait, I think too. Like, oh
Yeah.
shit, she was in the side.
Also
Yeah, so
points
yeah,
for
so it follows.
Chance's American accent though. Well,
Right,
I
right.
read in here he's American born British actor, but in
Okay,
Sabrina
yeah,
he had this full British, but yeah, the American
right.
accent he had there was solid. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So she discovers her powers at a very unfortunate time, and on top of that, under very unfortunate circumstance, given her origin. So it happens at the exact same time. Uh, we call him A Train, joins the Seven. So they're
Yes.
celebrating that as a whole thing. Then, she accidentally, well, I don't spoil it, but yeah, she does something very tragic, unfortunately. And she goes through the foster system. Um, but in the world of the boys, I think they showed the school already in one of the animated shows.
Yes,
Um,
yes, yes. There was
that same
one
school.
segment about it actually. A really good
Right.
segment, I must say. Where
Yeah,
the
yeah.
kids was striking back against the parents. That was hilarious, by the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So they get into a whole thing with the school. She actually leave the school as a she becomes an adult, but she was worried that she was going to just go to the adult prison version of that. But what happens is that she gets accepted to the college, to basically soup college. I forget the name of the school.
Okay, I'll pull it up. Right, it is
God you, God you,
what
God,
yeah,
God all you.
Godolkin University, but they call it God U for
Got
short.
it right. So you got it. Yeah, got you right. So they, she gets into a power set. Her power set is basically blood bending. That's
Yes,
basically what it is.
that's what it is.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And so she gets into that. But what happens is that weird circumstances happen that allows her to get on the top list for the top. And she's the first freshman to get in number 1. That's the beginning. And she have all these side characters and power sets, and then there's a conspiracy involved, and it's typical boy stuff. And I don't think it's as good as the boys, but it's
Hmm.
still pretty good.
Agreed.
It's an interesting mystery so far. Good characterization, good story telling for the most part. Like I enjoyed what going on. It had me
Yeah.
connected. Yeah, so that's about it. But yeah,
Yeah, well, all right. Well, basically, we have to talk as just people who saw the first three episodes, right? I know
Yeah,
some
sorry.
critics saying, "Oh, no names, get to see more," but hey, we only get to see three on the same day that they were dropped, right?
Right,
But yeah, I do agree with you. I'm enjoying this so far, though. Like, I do like that
right,
it's more, how to say, I don't want to say teenage oriented, but it's more Gen Z oriented than the boys, right? You know, the boys is just basically just grown ass men and women who dealing with this whole soups situation, right? And deal with the whole absurdity and hypocrisy concerning that, right? And just how they're being mass marketing and no, they're not really heroic after all, right? But here, just setting it as, I have these these powers. Um, I kind of don't want to have them because I got them under really extreme circumstances. Like with Marie, for example, like just how she discovers her powers is really, really, really messed up. Another and it's just how she has to deal with those powers,
yeah,
right? Also, or just before I forget, right? Very reminiscent of like the last season of The Boys. They do have these little disclaimers at the beginning, and I totally understand given it's Amazon, right? 'Cause yeah, yeah. There's some content that may
right,
rub people off the wrong way or might unnerve them, so I understand, right? And you really see it with the characters of Marie and her roommate, Emma, right? Um, who at the moment, like her soup name is Little Cricket. I have a feeling that they'll
right,
change it basically. Yeah, who could shrink, right? She could shrink to half inch size basically, right?
right.
But it's how she does it is really sad and really messed up, right? So yeah. Well, and I won't lie, when they revealed that, I was like, oof, that's not good at all. What I will say though, right, just because it's the boys, so you have that really
Yeah,
like
yeah,
raunchy,
yeah.
crass humor, right? They do a sort of a version of well, actually probably one of the most spectacular scenes, that's the best word I can use, from the season 3
Right,
premiere of The
right,
Boys, right? This
right.
jaw dropping moment,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
a sex scene involved, this guy who could shrink too. Yeah, so they do a
Okay.
version of that too. They kind of reverse it,
Yeah, very similar idea.
and it's
Yeah.
like, oh, like okay, yeah, like how the Sassy Boys, but I
Yeah.
did not need
So
to see that
they
on my
do
laptop
yeah
screen, but
they do
okay.
Clancy, right? So they had Clancy Brown. They see what happened to him. Sean Patrick Thomas.
Yeah, he's one of the
Well, yeah,
deans
yeah,
actually. By the way, like yeah, he's like there's a convo between him and Marie. I was like, Huss, you're
yeah.
a real dick.
But what they
How you
do,
could do that,
one of the
boy?
more interesting
Wow.
characters is they do it which I thought they would like play real lame, but they actually played smart. Jordan character. That is the the
Oh yeah, yeah. What they call him? What is why they call him bigender
right
because
by gender, but
basically, yeah,
but
yeah,
it's
he could
interesting.
shift from male to female.
Right,
Also,
and then
I do like that. I think each one has a specific skill set. Like, well, I
no,
know
well,
both of them supposed to be they have super strength,
right,
but I think like one has a power and one sex has a power, one
right.
gender has a power, and the other one has a power. So like when there's a fight scene, they switch between genders so they could
Well,
kind of counter
well,
moves or something like that.
how I interpret it is when you change it is somehow slowly invulnerable for a short period of time. That was kind of Garden with the fight in the beginning.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
That's how I interpret that. Whatever. But when they do it, that
yeah,
is not half bad. I thought that would be again because of the boys. It's like oh, trying to be edgy. What's going on here? But
yeah,
no, they do something interesting with it, and
yeah.
it's interesting. You're wondering if the power set, if the character would have been trans if they didn't become powered, if they didn't have powers. Like you're not sure what's going on there. Like if it's
Mm.
really two genders or whatnot, what's going on. I'm not really sure. But
Yeah,
they make it work
I know
for
what
it
you mean.
is.
Yeah,
Because
because
the characters default. The character was born male, but the
right,
default you almost always see the character as female.
right,
Um,
and I was about to say, because there's a great moment actually in episode 3 involving her dad. Well, their dad,
right,
sorry, and the story he brings up, and then he says, well, like I always wanted to have a son, right? But
right,
given the nationality of the character, it makes sense.
right,
It actually makes sense. That's all I'll say,
right.
right? But yeah, I
Yeah,
do
yeah, yeah.
like how they use the whole soups thing to touch on. I mean, it's not
Right.
anything new, but just issues. I mean, growing up, how hard it is.
Yeah.
Identity and all that
And then
stuff. That's cool.
they do small stuff like Sean Patrick Thomas is in this as playing another
Yeah,
character. I was like,
boy. I
all right,
was like, hey,
yeah,
you this, and he's
yeah,
a dick too. But
yeah.
what I like to is that he is he actually was a superhero as well. Polarity.
Right,
I have a feeling because the boys that they will show some flashback showing what his
right,
skill set is. Because
yeah.
I'm still not sure exactly what the actual skill set that his son has, right? But yeah, if
Well,
I'm
so
not mistaken,
I kind of gather that he has telekinesis.
Right.
but polarity has magnetic powers, or both of them could have magnetic powers. I ain't sure.
Okay.
Because we see him, I don't see him do, because I see him move stuff that non-magnetic. Remember, he was manipulating the water in that really unfortunate sequence in the nightclub.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Uh-huh.
right.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're doing that as it is. But I think polarity has magnetic powers, and he has just outright telekinesis. That's what I think is going on there.
Okay.
Because we know soups have they could genetically they just react to compound be roughly the same. Now you saw that with Soldier Boy, Homelander, and Homelander's kid, right?
Yes.
So stuff like that. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, I know
Sorry.
I
Well, a
like
few
it.
things here before we get to Rita, right? But yeah, I do like how it connects to the world of the boys. It doesn't stop to remind
Yeah,
you about this character or that character. But I do like that, ever so often remind you, yes, it's the same world, and we still touching on the marketing of these heroes, right? I do like the whole
right.
ranking scheme thing with these students. I see it kind of like sort of like maybe it's wrong thing. Maybe I kind of take it a little too much, but it kind of feels like these characters are kind of like social media influencers. So it's all based off of their popularity or how they conduct themselves and how they use their powers. So they could be on the top one day and they could just shift some other day, or the higher ups could kind of look at them like, you know what I mean? So I like that. So they always have to be in tip top shape, pretty much, right? Again, like social media, they
Yeah,
always have to be front and center. So I like that, right? I do like the cameos that show up. So like oh gosh, like
yeah,
McGill, Ashley Barrett show up. She was there. Who
yeah.
else played Deep? I was like, hey, you in this too. E3, I like that. You saw
Right.
Marlon as well.
Yeah, it's more just kind of background. They don't actually show up in the world itself, like in on. Yeah, that's just around here. All right, cool.
Yeah. The big conceit itself is pretty interesting as
Right,
well.
with the
In
forest
a
and the
Roperman,
fella
yeah.
brother. Yeah,
Yeah, not Roperman as yet though, but it pretty much involves one of the popular students who
right.
dies. That's all you'll see.
Yeah,
And then it's revealed that his younger brother is actually alive. That's all I'll see too, without
right.
spoiling anything, right? And
Mm-hmm.
where this third episode stops off is like, okay, what's gonna happen next, right? But yeah, as a whole, I'm thoroughly enjoying this so far, man. I should close this to I think that the voice, sorry, say voice acting. I think that the acting is solid throughout, though. Whether it's Jazz Sinclair, who I didn't even know was her until I see the name at the end. Like, oh, that's you. Wow, okay.
Yeah,
Um,
she look real different. She lose weight or something because she looking
yeah,
mushy.
boy. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Because in Chilling Adventures, Sabrina, she look a little more
yeah,
average size. Here, she
yeah.
look a little slimmer. I'm like, all right, okay, Chance, do your thing. Yeah. But yeah, everybody do their thing. They're believable. They're not all likable, but I do like that they're all fleshed out and they feel real in this world, right? They are youngsters. They do dumb shit. You know what I mean? Whether it's drugs or alcohol or whatever, right? But
Right.
you kind of understand with the high expectations put onto them why they would act this way, right? And yeah, it plays out the way it does. So yeah, I really enjoyed these first three episodes. No, it's not like the boys itself, but I am
Not
glad
as good as the boys, because I'm not roping men as much as the boys is, and it does feel at times little
Edge
what do you
Lordy,
call it?
no,
No, actually, the way I call it, just like it's basically like more like a Riverdale kind of thing. Cause it really, in some ways, like just seeing two people, and I can see more people showing up. Yeah, it's kind of a spiritual sequel to Sabrina in a sense, right? It's that magic is superpowers, right?
yeah. But yeah, overall, the first three episodes so far. I mean, this is off to a good start, man. Not blowing my way, but yeah, I'm digging it so far, man. So for me, at the moment, it's a strong 3.5 to like 4, man.
Yeah,
I don't see myself watching this on a weekly basis, however, but somehow I have a feeling because the boys they're gonna try to do something real outrageous or shocking or provocative
right.
to get social media going nuts. You know what I mean? And I could be like, okay, what happened? What happened? What happened? And I have to watch now to see what happened. So FOMO doesn't come in. I'm like, oh gosh, try to wait till like everything done and see what happened. And then when it happens, like, oh, that's what happened. Okay,
Yeah,
'cause it has happened to me before, right? But now you're not expecting anything too major to happen in Gen V. But I am expecting the occasional shock value
right.
jolt. You know what I mean? The blood, the guts, the sex, all that kind of stuff. The stuff that we kind of know and expect from the boys. I expect that in this show here too. But again, with the sort of Gen Z approach to things, yeah, I think it would make for just a solid season and hopefully more seasons come, man. So, Ricardo, your final thoughts and rating on these first 3 episodes?
Yeah, right so far about a 7 out of 10, maybe like a closer to a 6 to be honest. It not wowing me, but it's good enough. And I think one thing I appreciate about it, it's not as anywhere near snide or cynical as the boys is. It still has an earnestness to it, which could feel like a typical teen drama, but it works for the most part, and they're trying to balance it well.